All right, welcome everyone. This is the last reps call of the year. And today we have a packed agenda. We have Emma, we have Kalyan, and Vishal, and Sabas, as well as some non-verbal updates. I hope that everyone is well. I hope that everybody is warm enough or not cold enough, depending on where, in which side of the planet you are. Welcome everyone. Today I see Ether, Jason, Manzar, Bizit, Vishal, Liv, Suhail, Kalyan, and Francesca. Also, there is Yamama and Emma in the call. Hello, everyone. Do write your names down so we know who is here. And I also, please do write amazing shout-outs for people that have done things on your community. We don't know everything that is happening around, so we do appreciate giving shout-outs to reps that are doing cool stuff in the community. All right, without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to the amazing Emma Arwin, coming live from Canada, and she's going to talk about the state of the internet.
Thank you, Costadina. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm just going to share my screen here. And I'm also going to direct you, I've started, I added one link to the Etherpad there, but I'll add some more after this. So, and definitely if you have questions as I'm going through this, I'd be really grateful for those and to have the chance to answer those. So I'm here today to talk to you about the state of the internet. And you may or may not have heard of this initiative at Mozilla right now, but it's going to be something that you're going to be hearing a lot more about, and that is actually really important for the future of Mozilla and also for community participation. So I'm here today talking to you because your involvement and the involvement of your communities is super important. You can see my screen, Costadina? You can see that, right? Just want to make sure before I'm advancing slides that those are advancing.
Yeah, they are advancing here in Berlin.
Cool. So really, this is the kind of the tagline or whatever for the state of the internet. But at its simplest, what the state of the internet about is helping Mozilla understand and innovate for the state of the internet outside of the things that we're already doing, to create innovation pipelines that solve some of the internet's most pressing issues. And some of those you'll have found if you've read the state of the internet, the Internet Health Report has a lot of those in there. But we decided for this first kind of pilot or prototyping of an innovation pipeline to focus on the surveillance economy. So the state of the internet is a broader initiative around innovating, and we're going to start testing what it means to innovate for some of the pressing issues of the internet focused on the surveillance economy. So I hope that makes sense. So, and really related to product technology exploration. So the innovation pipeline is helping us think about how can Mozilla really build products and technology that helps address those. And of course, there's other ways that we address some of these things, including grants and education, but really this is focused on product and technology, which hopefully is exciting to you. Initially, we have some principles, which is learn by doing, caring, having diverse teams, and being open and transparent. So you're learning about this really at the very beginning of the project. So this is intended to be transparent. It's intended to be inclusive of your ideas and your participation. And I'll just let you know where we are right now and what that participation looks like in the next couple of slides. As I mentioned, we're working on the surveillance economy, and to kick things off in a kind of rapid way, we're working with IDEO. And if that name sounds familiar, IDEO is a fairly is very well respected research and design firm that actually you may be familiar with their design thinking workshops. I've run some of those. We've run some of those at Mozilla, and they've helped us really dig in and understand what does the surveillance economy mean, because there's lots of different things that popped into our minds based on where we live, based on who we are and our experience of the world. So with IDEO, we have this sort of short range set of goals, which is to first, up until now, this engage piece has been happening. We've interviewed a lot of different people in the last couple of months, and we're moving into the explore and expand portions of the innovation pipeline. And that's a visual for you, but like to talk about what that actually means and what we've been doing is that we actually, with IDEO, interviewed a lot of people with a lot of diverse experience and a lot of academic experience, and a lot of people building technology in this area to understand like what exactly is the surveillance economy, who is it impacting, and we were also trying to get not only a broad range of understanding, but we also somewhat controversial. So we wanted to understand like the ranges of controversial opinion as well as just the central. So we interviewed a lot of people. I do also crawl and clustered Wikipedia to see if there's like some common words and themes that were coming up, and also synthesize those findings to stop gaps. So in the last couple of months, we've done a lot to just get a baseline understanding of the range of descriptions, understanding of the surveillance economy. So all of this work has just happened in the last couple of months. It's being very fast. We've interviewed a few community members, and we'll continue to do that in the future. And so where we are now is that we've published to a platform that's linked at the bottom of the slide something called a set of provocations. And what a provocation is a statement, or in this case, a series of statements that are intended to get you thinking. It's intended to make you react. So, for example, whether or not Mozilla should control your data, for some people it might feel really great. For other people, it might feel like that's not at all what you would envision Mozilla's role be. So it's intended to get your reactions so that we can, again, synthesize those and come up with the next phase, which is explorations of themes that we see from all of this feedback. So there's a link there. What I'm here to ask you today to do is to go to that link and read through the provocations under each of these three categories. Mozilla controls your data, we collate your data or trade it. And there's actually better language. We realize this early language is a little bit tricky, but if you go to this page, you'll see the most up-to-date language. And just your take an opportunity to rate how you feel about those statements, to add comments about the strengths and weaknesses in those comments. And that's really all I have on this this morning. So I'll just recap though, because there's a lot of information. We're building a standard process for innovating technology at Mozilla on the internet's most pressing problems. There's basically 3 or 4 different stages, starting with the research stage that we've just started to walk through. There's a provocation stage where we are now, where we're asking for even deeper engagement from our communities and staff. And we'll be moving into something called explorations in the new year, where we start to dig into some of the really kind of meaty and interesting things that come out of that. And so does anyone have any questions? Because I talked fast. I apologize if I talked too fast.
Thank you very much, Emma. There are 2 questions in the Etherpad, but before I dig into those, are there any questions in the room? No? Then I will ask the questions in the Etherpad. Emma, what is IDEO?
All right, what is IDEO? So IDEO is a very well-respected and is a very well-respected research firm. They're located in San Francisco, but they've had global presence. And I'll actually add a link to their website for you in the Etherpad after I'm done talking, so you can maybe explore yourself. If you've heard of design thinking in the past, they were really foundational in launching that type of approach to design thinking and technology. So.
Cool. Also, there is another question that came from me, by the way. Why did you interview an astrologer?
Astrologer. I'll have to get that answer for you. I'm not sure. There's probably a reason. Yeah. So I was involved in some of the research, not all of it, but that's a great question. I'm going to go ping the channel and ask them that and get back to you.
Okay. Because I saw the people you interviewed, and community members and scientists and an astrologer.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we're trying to get a really wide range of how people think about things. And I'm sure that there's a specific range that they're thinking about when they talk to this person. So I will find out for you. That's a great question.
Cool. Thank you very much, Emma. Don't forget to take the action. Do go and reply on the provocations. They are meant to make you think. So if you see them and say, why the hell Emma at this, it's by design. It's not a bug. So Emma created those provocations to make you think on different state of the internet themes. Also, you are all reps in here. You are all NDA'd, which means that you can go and watch the internal call yesterday. Mitchell talked extensively about the state of the internet, and also Catalina talked about it. So it's going to be something big for Mozilla 2020. So we are asking the reps to go and check it out.
That's a really good point. I left out that Mitchell had introduced this. So that's a good idea. Thanks, Catalina.
Yes. It's the lady chairwoman that has introduced this work with Open Innovation. Thank you very much, Emma. If there are any other questions, please do add them on the Etherpad, and I will pass them to Emma. The next topic, we have Privacy Month coming up in January, and Kalyan and Vishal are coming from India to talk about it. India, as far as I know, is also experienced a lot of internet shutdowns these days. I've been reading the news, so I guess the Privacy Month is more relevant than ever. Kalyan and Vishal, would you like to speak?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Vishal. Just a quick intro of what this campaign is. It is a community-led initiative which was originated in Mozilla India in 2016, but now is quite on a global scale, and there are millions of impressions on social media to be considered. So there are two ways in which activists can actually participate in this campaign. One is online, one is offline. Online is we have over the years we have curated some tips, privacy tips, which are intended to be understood by people from any background. So they are quite easy to understand, and we shoot one tip per day throughout the month of January. Basically, January month. Why we consider January month is because International Data Privacy Day falls in January, so that is why we have this campaign in January. So that is the online part, and we are also considering a lot of unique things which we have experimented on in a couple of years. One is the speaker series, which I'm sure Kalyan will explain in more detail. Kalyan.
Hello. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for the intro, Vishal. So the speaker series was an idea by me in 2018, I believe. So I was thinking, since we are doing this, why don't we start something more involvement in the community, like bringing some experts and also the activists who have been doing a great work in privacy and security domain, and then we have people who have whom I have known and have worked with their projects and everything. So I have started to invite them. And in 2018 and 19, we almost got like 3 speakers on the wiki, but there were a few other speakers who couldn't make it because of prior engagements, and other people who couldn't do it because of the time zone issues. So this year we just wanted to have a community opinion on what topics would you like to see in the speaker series, and also if you have any speaker that you would like to see speaking here, please drop a message on Telegram, or you could drop me an email if you wanted to give an intro of the speaker or regarding the topics. And also I believe we have already shared the Google document, so you could drop all the details in that. And so I also tried to get a few people from the community, like Edward Snowden and some other people, but they couldn't make it of other stuff. So I did also plan a women panel, but due to the time zone issues between all the panelists, we couldn't make it. So this year I'm trying to make sure that at least we do have a women panel so that it starts something new in the community from the next in the upcoming years.
Thank you, Kalyan. I just wanted to add one more point. I have shared a Google Doc in the chat. It basically sums up the campaign by splitting it into different roles. So the roles are basically the curation and the creation of privacy tips, which it would be better if we could come up with more unique tips this time. Then someone who can handle the online and offline tracking and coordination with the people. Someone who can help with the documentation being discourse, wiki, blogs, and mailing lists. Someone who can handle the graphics part, someone who can handle the speaker series along with Kalyan. Someone who can come up with more unique ideas. One idea being creation of video content being targeted through the different social medias and YouTube, some of which can be shared through YouTube and other social media. Those are some roles which we have planned out for this year's campaign. Feel free to go through doc, and if you have any more suggestions, just feel free to add your points. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both. You have got some questions, so I'm going to read them out loud. How do I find out about the local events regarding the campaign?
Yeah, the local events will, any event throughout the month of privacy will be posted posted on social media using some hashtags. Those would be hashtag privacy month and hashtag advocate for privacy. You can track those events using those hashtags.
Oh, Vishal, Kalyan, should I suggest that you also create reps events so people can actually find them? Once you have the community portal, it's going to be even easier. But for now, make sure you create reps events so people can find those.
Yes, reps event will be created, but some of those people who are interested in this campaign may not be aware with the reps portal at all. So that is why we are keeping this aspect of tracking the hashtags. That would be more easier for people.
Yeah, you can also create somewhere a list. Just make sure
Yes.
that you have a list somewhere for people. Somebody else also asks, oh, it's the same person. How do I engage my local community as Mozillian except sharing privacy tip links?
Same. It goes through to the part where you can conduct offline events. Events may not be on a bigger scale. For example, a school or a college or an institute. It can even be you explaining some importance of privacy to one person. So it can also be a one-on-one talk. So it can be as small as that. You can that is how that is one way of involving the community.
All right. Do you have dates for the speaker series? There is a reply speaker series dates, not yet, since we didn't finalize the topics yet. Do you have specific agenda for the event? Who is your audience generally? I believe event for privacy for people who are not with the background would be helpful. That is coming from Yamama. And the reply is, of course, most of our topics are targeted to general people. And also we talk about secure and privacy related applications and the research. I think that Yamama also is wondering if you have any agendas that you can share that would be very helpful so other people can have local events as well. And also we can support them via sending budget and swag. So Vishal and Kalyani would be very helpful if you create a very simple agenda that other people can follow so they can have local events in their communities.
Yeah. So
Yes,
me and Vishal. So me and Vishal are brainstorming on the agenda and also and the topics so that we could send out emails to every people involved and also invite speakers. So probably by next week we could finalize the agenda and also few topics because we are awaiting topics from people around the world because last year and before year we have taken few topics, but this year we are planning to make sure that we get new topics and also topics which are really required at this point around the world, so that we could invite a diverse set of speakers who are been doing great work in that field. So we are just awaiting suggestions on topics. Once we are done with that, then also we'll be finalizing the agenda soon based on it, like for the offline events or other kind of events that people can host it in their offline places. So by next week, we could have a alpha like a sheet of things that shows like what exactly that we are planning for the 2020 Privacy Month campaign.
Yeah. Also, in the wiki page, I'll just post the link in the Etherpad. There is a link to resources where you can find all the presentations and all the resources you can find related to privacy, which you can use in your offline campaigns.
Cool. Thank you very much, both. Since we only have 4 minutes left, I'm going to pass the microphone to Sabhas, who is going to talk on behalf of the council about the monthly mentors upcoming call. Sabhas?
Hi, everyone. So we have only 4 minutes, so I'll be very quick so that we are planning to have a mentor training for like MDM in the first week of January. So expect more detail on how to be active in the community with your mentor. If you have any questions, reach out to your mentor. If your mentor is not active, let us know that your mentor is not active, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Sabhas. So for those of you who are mentors in this call, you are going to receive an invite to join the first monthly mentors call. It has been asked for the mentors. The first one is the one about MDM that Sabhas is going to present, and we want to actually do that monthly where mentors are coming together and we organize topics around it. Cool. I'm gonna speak a little bit about nonverbal updates. There is a survey that has been sent today, and it's about the community portal and reps. And I've been talking, I think, a little bit too much about the community portal, but it's important for you to understand what the community portal is about. So there is a survey for me to understand if I have over communicated or I need to communicate more with you. So please do take the survey, give me feedback. It's very important to understand that you are aligned with what is going to happen on the community portal and what that means for reps. It's just 2 minutes survey. Literally, you respond to 2 questions and it's multiple choice. So go ahead, the reps in the room, and reply to the survey. It will help me to understand what more information you need for 2020. Also, some news, very fresh news that made Ruben very happy today. I can confirm that. There is synchronous messaging at Mozilla announcement, and the replacement of IRC is there. So Mike Hoy has announced that we are replacing IRC. Go and check the post. We're going to have long conversations about how that applies to communities and how we can migrate there. Read the post. Give your feedback. It's important for Ruben and Mike to understand how the community is feeling about it. All right, we are not going to have a call next week since most of the employees are out. I think all the employees are out on next Thursday. It's the 26th, which means that the employees in Christian countries are celebrating Christmas. So no call next week. We are going to see each other on the 2nd of January, which is in 2 weeks. Be there and see you all in 2 weeks. Have a great one, you guys. Happy 2019 and hope you have even better 2020.
You too.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Bye. Happy New Year.